Hi, Mbali. Thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast today.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing well in yourself.
I'm doing very good.
Okay, so as most people may know, and if not, you are the founder of Lukafit, which is an athleisure or fitness brand. Is that a good way to describe it?
Yes, definitely. That's exactly how I would describe it.
So I'm gonna start off with the first question: Is who is Mbali? How would you describe yourself, and how did you get to where you are today?
Oh, wow. What a big question. Um, so I'm Mbali. I am a born and raised New Yorker who is also South African. So that's a fun little fact. And that's where my name comes from, and also part of where the name Lukafit comes from. But I studied African American studies and visual media studies in college, and thought I was going to go into media and stay in media, the media world. But a few years ago, I got really serious about my own health and wellness, and started a Get Fit click with a few of my friends, and we got really obsessive about it. And um, we would invite each other to classes, and we had a shared WhatsApp group and a shared calendar. It was just really ridiculous. But it was really helpful because it was the first time ever that I was working out 4 or 5 times a week. So I was so inspired by that accountability that I had with my friends that I started a meetup group for women of color in New York who were also looking for accountability. So women who, like me, wanted to work out, but wanted to work out with other people. And that grew to almost 1,000 Black women in New York. And that, which was just totally unexpected for me. But really awesome because I was meeting all these amazing women who were saying the same things I was feeling. Like, I'm looking for a supportive community. I'm going to a lot of fitness studios and health studios and not feeling comfortable. I'm feeling ostracized. I'm feeling ignored. So I'm joining this group because, they wanted to meet other like-minded women who would be supportive of them. And we had about 125 events over a few years, and that slowly but surely led into what Lukafit is now, which is community oriented, but really around activewear. Because one thing that a lot of women were saying as well, and something that I had been experiencing was, you're spending hundreds of dollars on the activewear that you're wearing to all these classes and workouts, but they weren't fitting us right. We would have to constantly roll them up, scared of our butts showing, which is never good. So eventually, I mean, it took a while. It took a while for me to gain the courage, but eventually, I started making activewear, and that's a short version of how I wound up where I am today.
So the company's name is Lukafit. How exactly did you come towards deciding on that name? What is the meaning behind it?
So, as I mentioned, I'm half South African. My dad is from Johannesburg. And although I did not grow up there, I spent a few years there after college. I have all of my paternal families over there. So I go once a year, and I have siblings there. And I feel very connected to that side of me. So when I was thinking of business names, I really wanted something that was personal and unique. So, so my siblings helped me, and so I found a word that means to sweat, which is juluga, and just took a bit of that word and made it into Luca Fit.
What was the sign or the push for you to go full time in your business from working a 9 to 5 or a corporate job?
It took me a while to take the leap. I had been working at a media nonprofit, and I had just moved into a new position at my previous job, and so I was doing both things, and it was fine in the beginning because at first I was just doing this meetup group, which was just like the side hobby. But as it got more and more serious and it was turning into more of a business, I'm not going to lie, it did get harder and harder and harder and harder to do both things. It was just getting more stressful. Um, and that's really when I started meditating, actually, when I was still working full time, and I was finding it really hard to just manage the emotional and mental stress that I was going through, having like two full time jobs, and being a new entrepreneur, like not really knowing what I was doing. So um, I think by the time I quit my job, I think I had been meditating already for at least half a year. So I guess over time I developed um, a little bit of courage, but also just this idea that like it's all going to be okay. None of this is the end of the world. I'm from New York. My mom lives here. I have siblings here, so like I'm not going to be out on the street if this business doesn't go right. So it definitely took a while, but I finally put in my notice when I just felt like, you know what, I have to give this business a chance, and like doing both things was just driving me a little crazy, to be honest. And I just wanted to give it a chance and see how far I could take it.
So I want to know, how did you make the transition? For me currently, like I work a full-time job, but then I also have like my side projects. And some days I'm like, forget the full-time job. I want to go after my like passion projects. But I feel like I'm not at a place where it's like, come on, like, you have the days where it's like, come on, you're acting a little crazy. Stick with the full-time job. How did you like make that transition from the full-time job to the from the full-time job to the entrepreneurship job? And piggybacking off of the last question, how did you like know that this was the right thing, in the sense of like, I feel like some people prematurely quit their job to follow their full-time to follow their passions. So I guess, how did you know like fully like this was the right thing? You're taking the right leap of faith.
I mean, you never know. You never really know. It's always a leap of faith. I mean, I had some money saved up, not a ton. I mean, I used credit cards. I leaned a lot on my family and my mom. But again, I felt like, and I've always worked in nonprofits, so I wasn't making a ton of money. So I felt like I can at least match the salary that I'm making in the nonprofit world. I thought, at least. And it wasn't a total crazy leap of faith to me, because I had had so many conversations over a couple years with the women in my meetup group. Like I knew I was filling a need in the market, because I mean, in entrepreneurship, they call it product market fit. I felt like I had found my product market fit already, so I wasn't just going out on just an idea. I feel like was I was pretty sure that I had stumbled on something that was a real need in the marketplace. So I was very confident, and I am very confident. So it didn't feel too crazy. As crazy as it felt, it didn't feel absurdly crazy, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does. It definitely does make sense. And kind of like the question I started off with the last one. How did you make the transition? I know when you take like leaps of faith like that, people are like, well, you should have this much saved, you should do this, you should do that. What steps did you take, or what things did you realize once you took the leap of faith? Like, wow, I wish I would have done that.
That's such a hard question to answer, because it's going to be different for all of us. And as much as I would like to say, do X, Y, Z, do one, then do two, then do three, I honestly believe we individually have our separate paths based on the specific character traits that I need to work on. They're going to be different from what the next entrepreneur needs to work on. So um, while I can say that, yes, they say you should have 6 months salary saved or however much, and you should have this and you should have that. We're all in different situations. Like, if I could go back and knowing what I know now, I would have stayed at my job longer because obviously, having that salary income would be better. But at the time, I really, really felt like I had to go. And I'm sure other people are going to feel that way too. So it's that, I mean, I know that's not the greatest answer, but I think you really have to answer that individually for yourself. And I would just say stay at your job as long as possible, unless you are really great at fundraising. If you're great at fundraising, then like leave immediately. But if you're not, and I mean that's not that's something that I have to work on. Um, so for people like me, you should probably save as much as you can, and just don't leave your full time job or your consulting gig or whatever you're doing um, until you have a product that's selling in the marketplace.
As an entrepreneur, what is a day in the life like for you running Lukafit?
Oh wow, every day is so different. And because it's mostly me doing most of the operations at the moment, every day is extremely different because there's so many different departments that I'm overseeing at the moment. But in basic terms, I always try to just pick three main things to work on for the day. And because I mean, I've done so much research on like productivity and what's the best way to organize your day. And this has been working for me. Is I pick my three most important tasks and block off a couple hours for each task. And some of it might be marketing related or operations related. Um, and I always try to do so as I get orders, I always try to do the fulfillment first thing. Um, and I'm still fulfilling the orders myself, dropping them off at the post office myself. So I always try to do that first thing, and then I'll get down my other to-do lists. But as I said, because I'm head of most of the departments right now, although I do have some help with marketing, um, I just really try to break my day into those three major tasks. And those major tasks could be in marketing or operations or, you know, fulfillment, that kind of thing.
How so I completely agree and understand with like entrepreneurship, like no 2 days being alike. I think it is so interesting just to see like what practices people follow. Um, I know for me, even though I still like work a 9 to 6 and have my side hustle, I think for me it's like very important to have like routine and like a morning routine, especially. Um, just because it sets the tone of the day for me. For example, like exercising is important to me because that's like my only alone time in the morning is when I'm working out. Like no one's gonna bother me at 6 a.m. if I'm at the gym. Thank the Lord. So sharing like your practices that you do. But what keeps you motivated on this journey?
Oh, wow. What keeps me motivated on my entrepreneurial journey is a few things. One being, which I'm sure this goes for everyone else who wants to take this leap, is I love being my own boss. And I would love to, for my life to stay that way as long as possible. Um, I just love learning new things every day. I mean, it's like I'm back in school without being back in school. Like I'm learning about advertising and marketing and how to operationalize your business, and I'm getting better at networking. Like every single day, I'm working on improving different aspects of myself. I feel like I'm growing more emotionally and as a business person more than I ever have in my life. I mean, this throws challenges at me every single day. And I really, as hard as it gets, I really, really, really am grateful for those challenges because it keeps my life interesting. It really brings me so much joy when I think about it because I feel like I'm pushing myself. And obviously, you can always push yourself harder, but um, I really do enjoy the entrepreneurial lifestyle. I really enjoy it. So, I mean, selfishly, I guess that's what pushes me the most. Secondly, I mean, I love what I'm offering to the world. I love getting reviews, emails, and DMs from customers. I love hearing how customers feel when they wear the leggings around their town. That really brings me so much joy. Reading those emails and the DMs, like if I'm having a bad day and I get a great review, it makes my entire week. So knowing that I've created something from scratch that brings other people joy brings me all the joy in the world, and that keeps me going day after day.
I love that. So going back a little bit with the challenges that you experience, how exactly do you overcome challenges that you face in like entrepreneurship life?
Oh man, this has been so much harder than I anticipated, honestly. But I'm very grateful for a few things. One being my meditation practice, and two being my friends. I have a few friends that I know I can call up at any time and just vent or cry or, just go through issues that I'm trying to solve. Um, there's a few other entrepreneurs that I have been working with in a way. Like we created our own little incubator. They're based in New York as well, and we used to meet up like once every 2 weeks, but we still call each other all the time. And I lean on them so much emotionally because entrepreneurship is not easy at all. So I would really say, yeah, my support system has been uh, key, has been a major factor in why I'm still even trying this. Because if I didn't have supportive people around me, I would have folded a long time ago.
I can definitely relate and vouch with that. I know for me, having a support system, especially being thousands of miles away from my family. I'm originally from Florida, so being in a different state by myself, it could be a little like I don't know. I just feel like people like may take advantage. You just never know. So I think having like my little New York support system makes me feel like it's like my family away from family. And
It's so necessary.
what'd you say?
It's so necessary.
It is, and even like for me doing like my podcast or just other things, having people say like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing amazing," even if they don't fully understand what's going on, the fact that they get that it's not easy to balance it all, it just makes me feel happy and appreciated. So yeah.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So the next question I wanted to ask you is entrepreneurship, I feel like, is definitely a trending topic. It has slowed down a little bit, but what advice do you have for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, whether that's them working their 9 to 5 and still being an entrepreneur, or they just want to flat out just go for it?
Hey, I mean, life is short. Go for it. You don't have to quit. You
I
shouldn't
love
quit your job right away. I mean, and sorry for the noise behind me. I think I can answer it again once this truck goes by.
That's fine.
We're in New York. What can you do?
No problem.
Um, yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't say quit your job right away, but life is short, so definitely go for it. I think there's really little. I don't know what the downside is to at least trying and saying you tried. I mean, we're all just trying. We're all just chipping away at an idea and just hoping people receive it. So just put your idea out into the world. I mean, look, it took me a long time. I've always been someone who over researches, over analyzes. So it took me a long time to build up the courage to put myself and my little business baby out there because it's so, you feel really vulnerable. Here you are now just open to the internet and the world and comments and trolls and blah, blah, blah. But you have to at least give yourself the opportunity to try and say, you know what, maybe it won't work out, but I gave it an effort. I gave it my best effort.
I love your advice and I resonate and agree with it. I am the type of person, like, I know my friends and people probably think like this girl is crazy. She's always up to something. But I've definitely been that person where I'll like start a project. And if it doesn't work out, I'll try and do it different ways and I'll leave and come back to it, or I'll just completely just not pursue it any further. But I think like you have to try. So at least you're not like always wondering what if, what if. It definitely resonates. Yeah, it definitely resonates with me, like, moving to New York. There were so many people, and it's part of the reason why I asked the questions I asked. There were so many people that were just like, "Oh, you shouldn't move to New York unless you have this much money saved. Oh, don't move there. It's gonna be like this, like that." And it's like if I would have listened to those people, I wouldn't be here right now, going into my second year, loving it, and so happy that I made this leap of faith and just like it's like you said, like you don't know what's gonna be on the other side of like it's like you don't know what's going to be on the other side until you take that leap of faith, and it's one of like I think the best leaps of faith I've ever done, and I'm just so happy that I did it and I didn't listen to what others had to say.
Aw, I'm so happy you're enjoying New York and making your way. Yeah, like New York is home to millions of people who are making their way. So it would be like a small town if nobody tried here.
Exactly. So you mentioned several times that meditation has become like a big part of your entrepreneurship journey and even like your lifestyle. I know you said that it was a part of you when you were beginning to get stressed with like the 9 to 5 and the job, and then it's also still like an important practice. What exactly does your meditation routine look like, or what's your favorite meditation practice to do?
So I use a few different apps, which is funny because we're supposed to be unplugging, but anyway, it's the best. It's the easiest way. um, so I use the Calm app, and I also use the Liberate app, which a good friend of mine made. It's a meditation app for people of color. It is so good. I highly recommend it to everyone. Go download it now. It's really awesome what he's created, and he has brought together all these teachers and instructors of color who specifically create meditations, guided meditations for people of color. So, I mean, that it's just incredible. So I'll do one of those, or I'll sometimes, if I have something really specific, I'll YouTube specific guided meditations if I can't find it on the other two apps. But I try to do at least 10 minutes a day just to get my mind right. You know, I think all of us struggle with anxiety or just overactive minds and stress. And especially if we live in major cities or, I mean, anything, if you're a parent, if, you know, we all have stress. So it's just a great way for me to just recenter and try to calm down all the voices and all the noise and all the just the hecticness that's going on in my brain. It just really helps me quiet it down and, you know, just calm down and be able to um, go forward with my day in the best version of myself. So yeah, meditation has really, really, really helped me.
I definitely understand that. I honestly don't practice meditation. I do know of a few apps that people have shared with me, and I've tried different things, but I haven't gotten into the routine or the rhythm that fits for me. Not sure if you said it, but did you say Headspace is one of the apps you use?
No, I said calm and liberate.
Liberate. Okay. Um,
hmm I
in
tried Headspace. It's not one of my favorites personally, but
Totally understand. And have you heard of Eternal Sunshine?
I have not. I have to look that one up.
Yeah, definitely. I know a girl who Amani, she talks about it a lot on her Instagram. It has like daily mantras, inspirational talk, meditation exercises, and like morning mindfulness. I've tried
Okay.
those and it definitely works for me, but unfortunately, I'm just the type of person where I have to schedule everything. So it's one of those things where I'm probably gonna have to like do it on the train on the way to the gym or something. But
No, that's fine. And I mean, Calm has like walking meditations if you're commuting. So I mean, and one thing I love, and one thing I like, one of my mantras is just start where you are.
mhm.
Um, so like when I started meditating, I started doing like 3 minute meditations. Sometimes now I can go up to like 30 minutes, but when I started, I was just doing a few minutes because that's all I could do. Another thing I'll say is I love sleep meditations. And I realized that a lot of people, myself included, sometimes have trouble sleeping, again, because we just have a lot on our minds. And even if you're not a morning meditation person, I would suggest to people to try out sleep meditations or sleep stories. They're basically just bedtime stories, but for adults. It sounds weird, but they really help.
So sleep meditations actually don't sound weird to me. I sometimes used to have trouble falling asleep, and what I used to do is I would put on a podcast, and inside the podcast app they have it where you can have the podcast go off after like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So I knew I would be able to fall asleep after like 10 or 15 minutes. So I would have it where it would go off after that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely would I sleep past that. And if I did, I would just know that I needed to like exhaust myself more. So I would like move around or maybe take like another shower or just do something to like make myself more tired. But podcasts for some reason always seem to be able to like de-stress me out. The talking I think just puts me to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it's something about the just a soothing voice that you start listening to the voice and then you stop thinking about whatever it is that you were thinking about. And that allows your brain to relax enough to then go to sleep.
So maybe I'll try it, like maybe that's a way that I can incorporate into my routine is going to sleep is like using a meditation because I'm not gonna lie, I am that person that will like turn off the lights, get in bed, and then get on my phone, and then of course the light from the phone will keep me awake a lot longer. Then I'll find
Right.
okay, I have to go to bed now.
Yeah, try it out.
So switching up gears a little bit and talking more about your brand and your company. Your recent pair of pants, which you know I bought, are almost sold out. What can listeners or people who shop with your brand, what can they expect from Lukafit?
I have new designs coming soon. I am so excited about them. Um, yeah, so they're going to be later this winter. Just sign up for our mailing list. Follow us on Instagram so that when they drop, you'll be notified. And we always do limited release drops. So if they sell out, sometimes we don't restock in those colors. So I would
Um,
highly recommend signing up for our newsletter or following us on Instagram because I personally love the colors that are coming. I'm so excited. So watch this space. I
and
think that's a South African saying, or maybe they say it everywhere. I don't know.
wait,
But
what's
yeah,
the thing?
watch watch this space.
Watch this space. I've never heard of that before.
Okay.
Um, so there's no like release date or anything. You just have to subscribe to the newsletter to get the date.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll do. What has been your favorite part on this journey of entrepreneurship? Or like with the brand, like what's been one of the best moments, if not the best moment?
Oh, wow. That is so hard. I think I already answered this honestly. When you asked me what keeps me going,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
getting, just talking to customers or getting emails and just messages from customers describing how amazing they feel when they wear Lukafit pants and shorts makes me so happy. I can't even describe how happy it makes me because this thing didn't exist. I mean, it's a new thing in the world that is bringing people joy. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't get that much, it doesn't get better than that. Like, there's a thing that I made that people trust me they trust me enough to purchase this thing that I made, and it makes them happy. And happy enough that they write me about it. And just some of these messages are just so awesome. I just even thinking about it, it gets me so excited. So, and that's ongoing. So it's not one thing. It's just like those messages. Honestly, like I got a DM earlier, like, and sometimes you get to know. I get to know some of the customers because if they message a lot, so I feel like I have some internet friends with. I've made internet friends with some of my customers because they're just like so amazing. Like there's one woman in Washington State who is a cancer survivor. She has the most amazing energy. And when she talks about Lukafit, it makes me want to cry, honestly. So those messages, yeah, that's the best part.
I honestly can like resonate with that. Not like disclaimer, not telling my friends not to motivate me, but I think when it's like a stranger or like a supporter that supports your brand, and you may not necessarily have met them in person, but just them like writing for you harder as if they know you like personally, and in a sense they are getting to know you because you are sharing a part of yourself through the internet. I just think like that just makes me like want to cry and just like not want to cry, but it makes me feel like overwhelmed and just loved and seen, and it knows that like you're changing someone's life for the better. So I can definitely resonate in a way with like how you may feel.
Exactly, exactly. It's such an amazing feeling. I mean, just building connections with people virtually or through the mail, that's another awesome thing, like that people get this gift that they bought themselves in
Mhm.
the mail, and just knowing that you know I'm even the process of like opening my package, apparently, I mean, people enjoy it so much they post it on Instagram. So I just love the idea of making other people happy. That makes me really happy. So like I even in the envelope when you order Lukafit, there's like confetti in the envelope. Our package is really bright. I try to just make it as fun as possible. At the moment, I'm still handwriting the thank yous myself, because I'm very grateful and I want people to feel that gratitude because Look If It would not exist without the customers. So, yeah, my customers keep me going. They're the best part of this. That's all I can say.
I like having gotten one of your packages. I can definitely resonate and agree to everything you just said. Getting the package, it didn't just make me feel like okay, like I supported a small business, great, but it just made me feel like okay, like I feel really good about supporting the small business. Like you said, it did come in a big packaging. Your name was written on it, and I know like once you get even more larger than you already are, it's gonna be hard to like handwrite all those notes. But I think it just added like an extra touch to it that you could have been like rushing through all the packages, just threw my item in a bag, but you took the time to actually like write my name, write a special message. And I think like that really made me feel like, okay, wow, this isn't just a person that's just looking to get money and like obviously like take care of themselves. This is a person that like actually cares about what they do and the people who are ordering. So honestly, for me, I loved it and I really do appreciate it.
Yay, I'm glad that translates.
So, winding down the questions, is there any question that I didn't ask or anything that you want to say, any words of advice or wisdom?
Of course, there's a train in the background again. I mean, honestly, your questions were excellent. I think I covered everything that I can think of. I would just say if people want to follow Lukafit, find us on Instagram at Get Lukafit, Lukafit with a K, or join our mailing list, which you can also do through Instagram, the link in the bio. Yeah, just check us out, follow us, and if you are thinking about entrepreneurship, just send us an email through the contact form. Well, send me an email through the contact form on my website, and I'll try to respond if people need advice or anything and have specific questions they want to ask. I am very appreciative of the people who I've reached out to asking questions. I mean, in the beginning, when I didn't know what in the world I was doing, I asked a lot of questions, and I still try to ask a lot of questions. So when people reach out to me, I try to do my best to help. So um, yeah, reach like DM me on Lukafit or send an email through my website contact page.
Okay. And one comment I did want to make towards your last statement when you said that the woman in Washington State really like felt like a really like big important supporter, and other people that just like DM you and different things like that. I feel like when that happens in the business or just in general, it makes you realize like this is what I feel like social media, like the positive side of social media and what social media should be, and not people like going on social media and just feeling like down about themselves, like, oh, look at this person, they're engaged, or oh, look at this person, they're posting like they just got a new job, and just feeling like negative or just other things that make people feel down. I feel like you saying that, it makes me feel like okay, there is positive to social media, and it shows people that if you feel like you have times where you shouldn't be using social media or you need to lessen your time on social media, it could be what content do you have that you're following on social media, and what are you interacting with. So I just want to say that about that comment. Sorry, it just came to me and I took notes, but I forgot to circle back to it.
No, that's such a good point. There is a positive side of social media. Maybe it's the minority, but yeah, like I follow some of my customers, and there's so many people out here doing really inspiring things. So yeah, you just like you said, you have to curate your Instagram feed, your Facebook feed, your Twitter feed, um, and just try not to go on it too much.
No, I agree. So
Meditate, get off Instagram and meditate.
gonna, I'm definitely gonna incorporate some meditation. I need it honestly. My last question. The podcast is called Pouring to My Cup, and this is just my signature closing question. What how do you feel where you are in life? Do you feel your cup is half empty or half full? No answer is right or wrong. Just state how you feel at this moment.
I'm always a glass half full kind of person. Always, always, always. Even obviously, I have really horrible days. Days where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm doing things right. I don't know why things are taking so long. But you know, there's always people like as much as I might be struggling, like I know that I'm still very blessed. I have such a supportive system around me. I have such supportive people around me, and I really just try to think about the things that I do have, the things that I'm learning, the forward momentum that I'm making. Um, I just try to pick myself up out of those ruts, or call people to help me pick myself up out of a rut. Because for real, like I have a roof over my head, I eat every day. There's a lot of things that I have to be grateful for, that we all have to be grateful for. So um, there's always something in the glass if you just refocus and like just change your perspective a little bit. Although it's hard, like I'm not going to downplay it, but um, you just have to at least know who to call or like what to listen to help on those days where it gets hard, because it does get hard.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm definitely a glass half full person.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love the name, by the way. It's so powerful and inspiring
Thank
and
you.
encouraging. Encouraging. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think like, yeah, that's part of the reason why I picked it. Like it was definitely like the message that I wanted to convey with it. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you. You did share your brand social media, but if you want to share it again, you can. And if people wanted to follow you on social media, like your personal account, if you want to share that as well, you can as well.
Sure. So people can follow Lukafit at Get Lukafit with a K. I'm personally at Mbali Blooms. And you can follow both of those, or I mean, definitely follow Lukafit. My personal one I don't use very much.
Okay, and if anyone misses any of this information, it'll be in the show notes. You could check there on like the exact links to the Instagram and all social media and the website. So
Awesome.
thank you again.
Thanks again for having me. This was awesome.
Can't wait until the next episode to get your cup filled? Follow us on our social media platform for daily inspiration at Pour Into My Cup on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Or check out our blog and services at www.pourintomycup.org. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to stay updated when new episodes are released. Leave a review and pour into someone else's cup by sharing the podcast. And I have to ask, is your cup half empty or half full? Peace, love, happiness. Rashiba, signing off.